Let me describe a defender for you. He was one of the highest rated rim defenders in the league last year. He contained the likes of Luka Doncic and Trae Young in switches, and even found success as the primary defender on LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo. His team's defense was significantly better with him on the floor, and his lineups were much more effective at forcing misses and rebounding them. As last season went on, the people who were paying attention started to notice that game to game, this guy was outperforming all NBA level defenders. It's Precious Achiuwa, and while his fanfare did increase as he managed to improve on the offensive side of the floor, the real meat of his game is on defense. We're going to talk about that defense, but first, I'm Samson Folk, and please like and subscribe. We don't do a lot of the clickbaity stuff around here, so we just have to go by on quality of content, and nothing helps communicate that better than likes. So thanks. At the top, I mentioned his highly rated rim protection, and an important part of that is, of course, his 7'2" wingspan and his athleticism. That really explosive and quick first jump and equally impressive second jump helps him patrol the paint accordingly. But good and hell, great defenders find a way to marry their athletic gifts with good reads of the floor. And Precious Achiuwa's read of would-be shooters is great. Early aerial battles in human history were called dogfights, and Achiuwa is a guy who wins in the air. He tracks your steps, matches them, and meets you at the top. That's the read part. On top of that, he has the plus athleticism to win when he's behind the play. You can see him lose a step on a couple of these plays, but as long as he can reach that shared airspace, he's going to dominate. He's going to win. The Raptors currently prioritize mobility above size in their bigs, and Achiuwa became comfortable and then dominant navigating the paint area on defense. And that isn't really the unique wrinkle of Achiuwa's game. That would be the combination of his foot speed, his balance, and his uncommon strength. Most people watching will have played basketball, so you'll understand when I ask if you've been steamrolled, rumbled to the rim, somebody took you to the weight room, too small, all that kind of stuff, where you were quick enough to match them, to get to the same spots as them, but they were strong, so they overwhelmed you and overpowered you and got to the spots they wanted to get to anyway. A lot of NBA players know exactly how you feel because they've defended the likes of LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic, but Precious Achiuwa doesn't. How bodies achieve things is a unique combination of points of leverage, angles, body mass, strength, all that kind of stuff. So I can't explain exactly how Precious does this, but he does. Where Zach Randolph is from, bullies get bullied. And apparently, a similar ethic comes out of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, Precious Achiuwa's hometown. This has meant that Achiuwa, from the center position, has been able to step out on talented offensive players on the switch and win. It also means he started picking Giannis up full court and won. He turned LeBron James into a jump shooter, and even though LeBron shot well that game, that is the recipe for success against LeBron that many teams, many defenders have tried to emulate. Precious did it. And the results aren't always going to be there, but this is the type of defense that helps you win possessions and eventually games. And in a very fun game against the Hawks, Precious's presence, i.e., dominance, on the floor made the NBA's best pick and roll player, Trae Young, stop running pick and rolls to keep Achiuwa out of the actions. Now, Trae was awesome in isolation and shredded a bunch of defenders that night, but this is what defenses want to do. They want to continue to minimize the amount of actions you can go to so their defenders know what to expect and how to attack as off-ball defenders and how to rotate, all that kind of stuff. So a great offense will always beat great defense because the shot can go in. But Precious helps the Raptors eliminate play types for other teams sometimes. When it comes to peel switching or X out, some of the more complex defensive rotations, stuff like that, Precious can get lost in the shuffle, yes. But when we're talking about rotations to the front of the rim or the side of the rim, switches out into isolation and straight up pick and roll, be it hedging, drop, or a switch, he's been dominant. He's succeeding at the traditional big stuff while excelling at a bunch of things that a lot of other bigs, his contemporaries, won't ever do. He is a radically unique defender who seems headed straight for all defense status, and he could be the best defender on the Raptors next year. He was already for some stretches this past season. On top of all of this, Precious's offense is very interesting as well, and it deserves its own video, which I will do at some point. But that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. As we talked about, it's rather important. Thanks for tuning in.